think it was one of my last days at kindy, and everyone was singing happy birthday, and they got, I remember back then you got Play-Doh cake, and it had all like candles on top of it. Yeah, and I just remember blowing out actually it was real fire back then. You got to use real fire. So yeah, that was my earliest memory. I was born in Auckland, on the North Shore. I've grown up there all my life, so I haven't moved anywhere else. I've lived in the same house for the last, how old am I now, 28, so 28 years. I've never lived in any other house. I have been in the Salvation Army all my life. I'm 6th generation Salvation Army, so all my family have been through it. I'm one of 6 actually. So, and I've got 13 nieces and nephews on my side, so 14 including Noah. So it's a bit of a chaos, my family. Yeah, when Tash decided to say yes to marrying me, I was like, sweet, someone's willing to take the chaos. In my last year of high school, I think I only spent probably a quarter of the whole year there, because within that year I lost 7 family members. They all died in 1 year. So that was a bit of a rough year. The worst being actually within a 3-month period was my grandfather, who I was very, very close to. And then 3 months later was my 20-month-old niece, who passed away of a cold. Yeah, while I was away on a kids camp, and that was pretty hard to kind of come to grips with, and with God. Then I guess he kind of I pushed him to the side. I always believed he was there. There's never been any doubt. I've never not called myself a Christian, but I kind of pushed him to the side and thought, you're just being cruel now. And yeah, and I kind of just didn't really see the point for being a Christian for a while, especially at the end of my high school year. And then kind of carried on, and I kind of didn't reject God. I did actually reject him, actually. Think about it now. I did. Out of school, I went into work. I didn't go to uni. I just went and did some work for a while. And I kind of started, that whole party side of things. I started to really get into the drink. I started to, get into those kind of things with mates. And I started to just put God on the background for a while. And I didn't, and then would have been a few years later, I kind of I got to the point where I put God on that outside so much that I kind of stuffed up and put myself in a position where I never should have been. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of family over this whole situation. And it got to the point where I actually decided that suicide was the way out. When I stood on the edge of a cliff, and it was pretty real at that point. What I thought was going to happen. I looked at the heavens and I thought, God, where are you? And I at that moment I said, God, if you can help me, because I thought this was the only way out. And I said, God, if you can help me, do something, send me a message, do something. Right at that very moment, my cell phone rang, and it was my mate, and he rang me just to say, oh, I don't know what's going on, but are you alright? And from then, that was the real pivotal moment that I noticed God again, and He started to rebuild my life from that moment. That was a good moment then, that He started to rebuild. Yeah, there was a moment that it was Amplify. It was the first ever Amplify that had been run, actually, and it was a good weekend. Like, it started off good, and there was a moment there that it was on the last night that I was sitting down. I just was going, with the groove of things and getting into it. And there's a point of the night of which I don't remember 100%, but according to everyone else, I was yelling, I was screaming, and I could tell that I was in pain. But from what I can remember, I was at peace with God, and it was what I like to be called being finally set free of all that pain that I was holding on to for all those years of going through, depression, of potential suicide, going through losing family members, going through losing my niece. There was that one moment at Amplify that he just released all of that for me, and I can still remember it as clear as day. And from that moment on, I knew that my journey was going to be different, and that I was going to start being what I used to be. Yeah. One of the things when you go through depression is that you just hide away for a bit. So yeah, it was hard not to show it and to put on a brave face. You just went through it, but at the same time, I didn't want them to know either. So yeah, so people would like try and label you for being something horrible or being something you weren't. And I guess I'd say to people, let God tell you who you really are, not let people tell you who you are. And put your hope in Him, because He is the only one that will show you the right way. He's the one that showed me out of the dark, and He will show you out of the dark. No, it doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter how much you've suffered. It doesn't matter how much pain you've been through. There's always a way out, and that He will show you that way. That you won't ever have to be fake with God, because He knows everything real. Everyone has that one person that they can lean on, I guess. That for me is Jerry Walker, who funnily enough ends up being my brother-in-law's parents now. But he was the one person that I was so lucky to have, and I think actually saved me from leaving the army, because I was that close to leaving the army. And was just that mentor, and and he's the one that actually convinced me to ask out Tash as well. He told me I was good, and I should go ask her out because she's a good person. Those are his words. And he really just made sure that I was going to be alright. One thing I could almost, I'd love to say to people as well is make sure you have that one mentor in your life that will support you no matter what, because they're vital. They're very vital. They will ask you the hard truth. They will give you the truthful answers, and they'll challenge you as a person, but they also respect you as a person. And that's what Jerry was to me. He was that guy that would give me the hard answers, but would also would back me to be the person I am, I guess. One of the verses that I really respect is Corinthians 3:23, and it says, in everything you do, work as you're working for God and not for man. And for me, that's a big one, because I heard that a number of years ago, and that's actually how I live each day outside of church, is everything I do, whether it be working at the family store at the moment, whether it be, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a youth worker, whether you're everything you do it as you're working for God and not for man. So you put him 100% behind your day, and he does the rest, I believe. I work at, I work in a rugby club with a bunch of young boys, and I help coach them, and God gave me that a while ago, which was cool, and that was part of the healing, is to let me work with people again. There's a lot of broken families at a rugby club, a lot of young guys with no fathers or no real father figures at all in their lives. So just to be able to do that in the club is quite cool. Yeah, I guess area I work in at the moment is obviously I'm trying to become a cop, and I believe that is one of the ultimate goals that God wants for me and wants me to do for him. God's gone 90% of the way for you. All you've got to do is go the 10%. That's all you got to do. There's only that 10% to go to accept him, and he's done everything else for you. So that you just have to say, Lord, I trust you, and he'll be there.